We're here today to celebrate the life of Tim Kennelly. And Tim had some time there at the end where he really shared what kind of get-together he'd like to have. And what he wanted is people to come together and talk about him. And I told him we already do. We're just going to say nice things. Well, sort of. Some of us might tease. So we're here today to celebrate the life of Tim Kennelly. He was the love of my life. And many of you know that he died on Valentine's Day. And my son said to me, "Mom, I'm so sorry that Dad passed on Valentine's Day." And I said, "I'm not. You know, he was my Valentine for many years. And I was dancing with him, listening to a video that Colette had made of us and songs we loved. And I was playing that, and he passed peacefully. So it's really a special Valentine gift to me that I'll always have, and a good memory, which is what I have and why we're here today to share memories. And he did say he wanted us to come together to talk about him, and that's what we're going to do. I need to get back to Valentine's Day because Tim was not a fan of Valentine's Day. He used to kind of say, "I don't need no card company telling me when to tell my wife I loved him." So, you know, I would still get cards and flowers and stuff. In fact, I would get him a card, and here's a copy of a card that I got him. And inside, it says, "You're my one and only, love, Lila." Now remember, Tim's not a fan, so he does buy a card, but this is Tim's card. Yes, this is a Valentine's card that I actually got. And I found it after he had passed away. And it says, "Things are pretty normal around here." And you open it up. "What's new with you? Happy V-Day. Love, Tim." Yeah, he was such a fan of Valentine's Day, he could only say V-Day. And my daughter said, "Mom, do you know how hard you have to look for a card like that on Valentine's Day?" So he really was out there really trying to get the perfect one from him. Now, another story that I'm going to tell about Tim is that when we moved out to Colorado, his mom and dad ran Spirit Lake Lodge up in Grand Lake, and we often would go up there, and Colette and Rick, his sister and brother-in-law, were running a stables up there across the street, or across the road street. And anyway, one time we were going to go ride horses, and we went out to Winding River Ranch, and when I got out of the car, everyone kept saying, "Lila, isn't that a beautiful horse? Lila, isn't that a pretty horse?" And it was. It was an Arabian with a white blaze and white socks, and it was gorgeous. And "Lila, is it a beautiful horse? Isn't it a beautiful horse?" "Yes, it's a beautiful horse." And Tim said, "Well, it's yours." "It's mine?" Tim had gotten me a horse for my birthday. He had traded a snowmobile that he had when he was in Illinois, and he moved out here, and Colette and Rick, living up in Grand Lake, needed the snowmobile more than he did living in Boulder. But I got a horse, and we lived in an apartment in Boulder, Colorado, and I have a horse for my birthday. Now, he also later bought himself a horse, and then at that time we were living up in Jamestown, but we still had a walk-out basement apartment, 2-bedroom apartment now, not the 1-bedroom we had in Boulder. Now we have 2 horses. And Dan and Kelly could keep them up in a little corral that the guys built behind the house, and we could ride them up there, and we all had fun riding the horses up through the different parts of the mountains up there in Jamestown. However, we needed to winter them down below, off of Oxford Road, down below the canyon and close out in the fields. And one winter after winter was over, we wintered them there, and that spring when we looked, our horse was there, Sundance, Gussie, and Speckles, his horse, and there was a mule in the pasture. And the guy told us when we went to pick up the 2 horses that the mule was ours too. Okay, now we've got 2 horses and a mule, and we're still living in a 2-bedroom apartment. It's just in Jamestown. So yeah, he was quite into the cowboy thing then, I think. But yeah, it's a fun story to remember. It's a fun story to remember the horse rides, and it's also a fun story on how he decided to give me the horse. And another story that I'll tell is kind of a small, short one, and I've already said it once. He had time at the end to actually talk to everyone and talk about that he was anxious for what came next. Awful strong man. But he also said he wanted us to get together and talk about him, and as I said, I told him we would. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to tell stories. Dan is going to give some information and talk to us. And we're going to offer a microphone if you have a story after or sometime later that you want to tell a story. You just want to sit around with people you know or new people you're meeting and tell different stories. That's what today is about. He was a big fan of dancing, music, getting together, his family, partying, and that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to play a song that we all know reminds us of Tim.